Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, and we will continue on the diamond. We'll get some off-the-field stuff going here. Baseball trade deadline just passing on Monday, July 31st at 4 p.m. Red Sox making the early move. We talked about Eduardo Nunez, and then making a deal that people had talked about, speculated for the last few days. Addison Reed coming over from the New York Mets. And when the Mets made the trade for A.J. Ramos from the Marlins earlier in the weekend, it looked like that was going to be the next domino to fall, because why would the Mets be getting a closer and a reliever if they weren't going to give him up? So it looked like, for whatever reason, that was the way it happened. And Red Sox didn't give up too much, like you said. They haven't really in these trades, but a good addition to the bullpen, especially with Joe Kelly hurt. Matt Barnes pitched well last night, but he's kind of struggled. And now you got to back up for Kimbrel if anything should happen.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a great addition. You needed a setup guy. I think the Red Sox really wanted a lefty reliever, but they got a righty. I mean, his ERA is still about 2.5. He's been great for the Mets, so it's definitely a good acquisition. And he's really good against righties and lefties. You know, righties usually are good against righties and struggle against lefties, but he's good against both. But we did see last night in his first appearance with the Red Sox, he gave up a solo home run to Carlos Santana. And, you know, Santana is a slugger. And he did hit one deep to right field at Fenway. It's not easy to do. But still, you know, I think it'll definitely be a good addition. We saw a couple days ago, I think it was against the Royals, the Sox had a 3-1 lead late.
Yeah, that was Sunday's game.
Right, and then they allowed 4 runs in, it was like the 8th inning, and it was a combination of Matt Barnes and Robbie Scott. So you really needed an 8th inning guy. It's definitely going to be good down the stretch. You know, a little shaky last night, but it's definitely a good trade.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens once Pedroia comes off the DL, where they go with a bullpen guy. Which one's going to be, because Joe Kelly should be back soon, and Pedroia will be back. So that's 2 spots. So is it Robbie Scott and maybe Blaine Boyer or something? So you'll see in the next couple weeks this bullpen start to take shape. And you'll really see Kimbrel in the 9th, obviously, Reed back in the 8th, and then you'll have Matt Barnes and Joe Kelly in the 6th and 7th spot. So I think it sets them up nicely. Does it help them contend in the American League? I mean, we didn't see the Astros do anything. They didn't do much. The Indians didn't do a ton. So it was the Yankees and the Red Sox. So now the Red Sox kind of pushing up towards the favorites in the American League, or is it they're still a little ways behind Houston?
Yeah, I definitely think Houston's a more well-rounded team. I mean, that offense is just killer. They are so good from top to bottom, and they have a ton of power. And I think Jose Altuve, I think he's going to win MVP. He's hitting like 365
he's
right
had a good
now.
Season.
And for him to overtake Aaron Judge in the MVP voting, that says a lot.
And Aaron Judge has kind of dropped off, and Altuve's been hot, so they've kind of stabilized.
Exactly, yeah. You know, I don't think the Red Sox are better than the Astros, but I think the Yankees, I almost think they made too many moves. I think they gave up their top 3rd or 4th overall prospect.
Yeah, they gave up 3 out of the top 10.
Yeah, okay, wow, yeah. So they gave up a ton, and they got, you know, a ton of pieces, and I think a lot of it was stealing Todd Frazier away from the Red Sox. That was part of it. But, you know, and in terms of Yankees-Red Sox, I almost think the Yankees have a slight advantage over the Red Sox right now, especially with all those moves. But after this season, I think the Red Sox will be glad they didn't trade away the future. And the Yankees, I don't think they're going to go too far if they make the playoffs. I think they'll probably make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to go too far.
And they get Sonny Gray, who's under team control for 2 more years after this year. So that's a big deal, even though they did have to give up a lot of players. And it looks like this year, Red Sox, Yankees, I think Red Sox, I don't know, maybe the Yankees have a slight advantage, but going forward, it's going to be exciting in a competitive American League East, because the Yankees either have all their prospects up there or they've traded them away, and now this is what they're going to battle with, a couple free agents. The Red Sox, they don't have a lot of in the farm system, but you'll see Devers stay up there. So in the next 5 years, I could see it being that old Red Sox-Yankees battle every year.
Yeah, I mean, that Sonny Gray trade was definitely huge for them. I mean, 2 more years of Sonny Gray will definitely have an impact on this rivalry. But, yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I'm glad these 2 teams are finally both good again. It's kind of been one of the teams has been good over the last 5 or so years, but now they're both looking really good, and they have a ton of young talent. I think this is going to be a trend for the next few years. Definitely happy about it.
And with the addition of the 2 wild cards, it helps, but also you get the wild card, and you got to play a play-in game, basically. So that makes the division so much more important, and that's why I think the Yankees went after that Sonny Gray deal, because they knew if we can get Sonny Gray for the next 2+ years, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the addition of that second wild card really kind of changes the whole trade market. I mean, so many teams were kind of on the fringe have a little more hope than they used to have.
And teams that are almost winning their division want to avoid the play-in game, so then they want it. So it kind of throws a lot of different layers into that.
Yeah,
but
it really does.
Still 2 months of baseball left. Red Sox, Yankees will battle it out at the top. We'll take a break, come back, talk about some Patriots. Training camp opened up last week. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.